moving on to business from the city council. Councilmember Cleveland.
Yes, besides having this wonderful rain, as everybody says, and some pea-sized hail that came down for quite a while, that was interesting today. But had the housing authority meeting this last week. Going to have another one in 2 weeks regarding some issues. But the ADA units in Richland Housing that have been required by HUD to be built on single floor. Some of the open grass areas there that we just watered, they're now going to be having ADA units in there. Some of them are getting close to being completed. Also, the community center and meeting hall, the old Miles building, is now gone, and a new one is there. They're getting the HVAC screening up, which the city required. They didn't realize that it was going to be necessary. The housing didn't, and so that'll be up, and they'll have a wonderful meeting center there, much larger, modern, and green, good for the in its construction. Also, Maple Park Senior Affordable Housing broke ground in Live Oak. I know it's not Yuba City, but it's a huge project up there and a need for affordable senior housing. I think it's 34 units in the Maple Park development that's been done up there. And looking forward to doing some of the same projects and expanding in Yuba City. That's also on the slate to be over the next couple of years. So other than that, very healthy, strong, and we're going to be going out soon for a new director. We're going to be also reassessing what periodically housing authorities need to, or any government agency needs to look at what positions are and can they be changed? Do they need to be changed according to the change in the structure? And we're going to be doing an assessment on that and seeing if it needs to be even restructured in its staffing. So that's going on now, and going to come out of this strong as ever.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Didwell.
Okay, and let's see, we had the Yuba City Transit meeting, which was pretty much the big change with the mapping will be from the mall stop to the Gray Avenue one. So we had a couple of concerns with some of the senior citizens who may have a greater walk. So they'll be working with the mall to ensure that there's a safe route to get into the mall. But other than that, it was a pretty straightforward meeting. The Bacchai Parade had a great event, walked the parade, and enjoyed the weather out there. And let's see, and then we also had the city employee awards, and that was a great event. Thank you very much for putting that together, and hopefully in the future we'll do it again.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Gill.
Yeah, also attended the Bacchai parade itself, and attended the dinner. Learned a lot at the dinner. I didn't know that Yuba City we have our own sheriff, and so also learned I'm still the mayor of Yuba City, so I thought that was kind of nice. Attended the Sutter Buttes Flood Agency finance meeting, as well as an update for the city of Yuba City with the mayor and myself. Still continue to negotiate with the tribes, trying to see if we can finish this thing along sooner than later. Or of course, the paper's been doing a pretty good job as far as keeping everybody up to date on it. But there still continues to be a lot of negotiations of trying to get these levees fixed where we can get started like ASAP. And I was telling our attorney a little while ago, if we're not able to get started this year on the levees, I think we're looking at between $5 to $6 million additional costs. And if we're still on goal to get everything done, we would have had majority, or we still can have majority of the levees fixed, exception of the south of Laurel Road, which is a couple of miles. And with Mike Amini and Scott Shapiro, when we had gone back to Washington, D.C., we were able to discuss for additional financing to fix the Laurel Avenue, as well as a couple of other hot spots that were identified in the bypass levee. So our goal would have been that within this year or early spring of next year, we would have probably been able to fix all 44 miles of the levee, as well as some of the hot spots in the bypass. So, just to consider where we were, almost 6 years ago, of not having an assessment pass and just kind of taking a look and in the formation of Sutter Buttes Flood Agency and here where we would be to get ourselves safe on many of that stuff on a 200 flood protection and some into 100. I think was a huge, and still is a huge accomplishment for our community. So we continue to do that. In addition to that, we'll be heading back to Washington, D.C. next week, which is the capital to capital, and myself representing the flood agency back there and see if we can get some more of our elected officials to push this thing along. So that's all I've got at this point in time.
All right. Well, I'll just kind of piggyback a little bit on the Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency. As he said, we're still continuing to work, and hopefully by tomorrow we should have agreement between the tribe and the Corps. I had the opportunity to be out at Beale last week for a groundbreaking for the new DGS2 and the CE building, civil engineering building, which burned down 2 years ago in January. And those are two huge MILCON projects that are going to be taking place at Beale. For a base today to have even one MILCON project is a good thing, and to have two of them going on, I believe it was 85,000 square feet for the new DGS2, and it's going to be 47,000 square feet for the CE facility. So there are two very large projects that will be taking place in our community, and hopefully it will be some benefits to local contractors and different things as that progresses forward. But at that groundbreaking, the colonel from the Corps of Engineers was there, so I had a chance to talk with him regarding the issue of the cultural findings that we've been dealing with between the tribes and the Corps, and was very positive that he is very hopeful that we are able to come to an agreement here within the next day or so. So that was very encouraging. Met with Barry Broom from Greater Sacramento and City Manager Mr. Krager and Darren Gale to discuss the Greater Sacramento project that they're working on, which will most likely be coming back before the council in the next couple months. It looks to be something that would be a valuable tool for our economic development for this region. So there'll be more on that coming up. The employee awards, it was a pleasure to be there to honor the employees for different longevity of being at the city, anywhere from 5 years to 25 years, and it's amazing to see how long some people have been with the city and the years that they've put in, and we have a very good what I call family of employees, because they work together. They've helped us over the past few years with the difficult times with budgets and so on, and been understanding, and it's good, and it's nice to honor those people that have helped us get to where we are. Last week had 23 German exchange students sitting right out here and where you are, and had opportunity to answer questions for them and ask a few questions of them and give them a tour of City Hall. They will be leaving, I believe, this week. So they've been here for actually it'll be next week that they leave. They're going to be here a total of 3 weeks. They'd been here a week last Thursday. Let's see here. I had the Feather River Air Quality Management District meeting yesterday, and good news that they have settled some of the lawsuits that they've had outstanding over the past few years, and hopefully we'll have some resolution with those things. Also went to a meeting out at Beale with City Manager Krager for the P4 initiative, which is the privatization of a lot of the services that Beale does, such as wastewater treatment, electricity, and different things that they're currently doing that doesn't help them with what their mission is, but they have to survive out there. And so Congress has basically said to the Air Force and the military in general is that you need to turn these over to public agencies to help you with those. And so this was one of the many meetings that we've had, and it was very informative to hear where they're at in that process. And in some cases, it was pretty amazing to see all the layers that it took to make things happen. But And then, of course, participating in the Buckeye Parade and all the, as I call Buckeye Weekend, with the hostess, and then the different receptions, the parades and dinners and so on. So that's all I have to report at this time. And with that, meeting is adjourned.